Welcome to Cooking with Unity, episode 22? Yeah, 22. And we're going to wrap up this asteroids thing because I am sick of it. Alright. So, on our last episode, sorry about that movement of the mic sound, but it was cutting out a little bit. So, we got asteroids, they spawn, you can kill them, they wrap, you wrap. When you kill all of them, does it make a new level? I think we got that working. Hold on, let's see. I think we were mostly working on sound and fixing the few bugs related to asteroids spawning on top of you. So... yeah, it looks like it's working. Got to level 2. Got lucky enough to not be killed by asteroids that spawned in. I'm terrible at my game. Oh god! No! Alright. Well, there we go. So, we have what looks like a game. Problem is, you can only live once. So, well, I mean, I guess that's not technically a problem, but it might be nice to have a game over screen and a reset capability at the very least. We're probably going to add lives. So we're going to add lives, sound, and I'd like to make it so that the asteroids will not spawn on top of you. And then we are going to call this a game. So, where to start? So, let's first see about the asteroids not spawning on top of you, just because I think I figured out a way to do that while I was thinking about it. So let's go to our asteroid script. And that's not the script we wanted. We want level manager, is that it? Yeah, this is it. So, let's see, spawn asteroids. So, what we're going to do is, we're going to do a little while loop here to make sure that we're not touching the player, or anything else for that matter. So what we're going to do is spawn radius, asteroid, enemy ship. Hold on, I want to see how our asteroids are set up real quick. Large asteroid. I'm sorry about all the air noise. That's my computer overheating right now. I need to clean out the fans or something because it's not being friendly about things. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to check to see if there's something already here. So check to see if there's something where we wish to spawn. So to do that, first we're going to make a new vector 3 spawn position, and we're going to make that equal to what we've got here. So this represents a random location within our spawn radius, and we're going to use spawn position here because we don't want spawn position, because if we do random multiple times, you get multiple random numbers. So I'm just doing this ahead of time so that we can adjust this as needed. So this is actually not what I said here. We're going to say get random position. And actually we should technically... this doesn't matter. Just zeroing this out. We're assuming 0 for, like, we're just doing random inside the unit circle, so this is at the 0 position. I usually like to do for for spawners. I usually like to do as an offset from their position in 3 space, so that you can move a spawner around and have it represent something. But we're not doing that this time. All you would do is just add transform.position to that, and you'd get your offset. So we're going to check to see if there's something where we wish to spawn. So first we're going to need a radius to look for. So our asteroids are determined by whatever size we put in the scale here. So I'm actually just going to assume that our objects are cubic, so that they have the same scale horizontally, vertically, and depth-wise. And we're just going to pick one of those and have that be our radius? No, diameter. That'll be our spawn diameter. Yes, that'll be our spawn diameter. Our radius will be half that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a physics.check sphere. And we're going to adjust this to the position of where we want to spawn. So in this case, it's spawn position. Nope, spawn. Who wants to put spawn radius? Spawn position. And then we have our radius. So our radius is going to be equal to, we have our asteroid, right? So asteroid dot transform dot scale. Local scale will work. Asteroid dot transform dot local scale divided by 2. Actually, we're just going to pick a component. I'm going with x and dividing that by 2. Obviously, if something is very long in the x direction, you will get a sphere that is very large. As I said, we're just going to assume that these are all spheres because they are in this case. So if it's a more complex object, you'd have to do a little bit fancier thing. Maybe even spawn it in and check for a collision using some sort of dummy system. But we're not going to be doing that because we don't have to. Excuse me. Alright, so all we want to know is if there's something that's there. So this will return, I think this returns a bool. Let me just double check. Physics.check sphere. Yeah, it returns a bool. So this is just a yes or no. Is there something there? So we're going to just say if, actually, yeah, we'll start with an if, but we're going to change this very quickly to something else. So if this stuff, and actually rather if not this stuff, then we wish to spawn our asteroid. So now I said I'm going to change this from a if to a while, and so it's going to be a little bit differently organized. So what we're going to do here is so like if it's not there, instantiate. Else, what we want to do is pick a new random number position. Try again. So the reason we're switching to a while loop is because this allows us to do it all in kind of one step. A while loop is we've been using a derivative of while loops a lot. We've used for loops a lot. I think this may be the first while loop I've written on the show. While just operates as long as something is true, it just keeps looping. And so that's exactly what we want. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to do while, and then while this is true, while there's something blocking us, I'm going to move our instantiate again. Actually, we've still got it down there, so I'm just going to leave it down there. We're going to redo the spawn position. And we don't need to redeclare it. So spawn position equals. So what this will do is it'll check to see the spawn position. If this is true, it means that it collided with something, so now it will do it again with the new spawn position, and it will keep doing this till the end of time or until it finds the proper position. While loops can be dangerous because it's possible if you have your logic wrong, you'll be in an infinite loop. It'll do it forever, and it will lock up the game because this isn't looping over multiple frames. This is happening once, and so it will keep doing this forever on that one frame, and nothing will ever get done ever again. So that's the potential danger with these. And in theory, you might find a case where if there's enough asteroids, maybe it will never find spawn position and stuff, but that doesn't happen as often as you think, but keep that in mind. So if you're getting a weird problem, check to see if you have any wild loops that are checking stuff that might not work the way you want. So all this does now is it checks to see if it's going. So the first time, if it gets a good spawn position, this won't even happen. It won't pick another one. It'll just drop right through that while loop and go into the instantiate. If it has an invalid one, it'll change it until it's valid, and then it'll go into the instantiate here. So this actually should do what we want right now, and so now nothing should spawn on anything else. So when we hit play, we're going to find out that we have a compiler error or something. No? Okay. It worked. So in theory... Alright, I didn't see any of them collide there, but let's just do a few more levels. Oh god. Or not. This is one of the trickier ones to check to see if it's working. So that one did, but it collided shortly after. Like, that wasn't because it... yeah, they're moving into each other, but I haven't seen them actually spawn on each other yet.
Could always
still very close. Yeah.
Debug statement to make sure it's actually going into that
loop.
That's
a good point. Let's do that. So we're going to add a debug.log here. Finding invalid position, finding new position. We'll see if this code actually is running at all. So if we go to console, so everything was valid there. Let's just hit play again. I'm just going to keep doing play. Everything appeared to be valid there. There, invalid position, finding new position. So it is doing something. Let's actually make that a little bit wider than the... Let's actually make it so that it won't be within... let's just do that. Let's see how this actually looks. Because this means they won't be right next to each other either. We'll probably see this print a lot more now. Okay, it only printed once. But they did seem further apart, but again,
I think debug logs, if they're the same statement, only print once in Unity.
That's if you have it on collapse. I don't have it on collapse right now. It's like if I did collapse, it shows up as 1 if you uncollapse. Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
No, I didn't. How did I do that? No, I don't want to be maximized. So yeah, as I said, there's possible when we get too many asteroids, we may end up in a space fill impossibility, which will cause it to fail. So as a matter of fact, let's build a failsafe just so that we don't have to deal with that ever. Our failsafe will be simply, let's see. I'm just going to make a, oh, we already have an I. Int failsafe equals 0. And we'll just make it so that if it picks 100 locations and doesn't find one, then that's no good. So failsafe plus equals, actually just plus plus. Plus equals 1. That's for suckers. Alright, failsafe plus plus, and we'll just say if checksphere and failsafe is less than 100. So now if I do something crazy like change our spawner to spawn a lot of asteroids, so let's do 100 asteroids. And it's going to kill us. There's no question that it's going to murder our player immediately. Or it's going to crash. That's a possibility too. Let's see, it's doing that 100 times for each asteroid. I did save my failsafe, yeah. Okay, failsafe equals 0. Failsafe plus plus. Failsafe is less than 100, okay. Yeah, you guys can't see it, but I've got spinning beach ball going on right now. So, for Windows people, it's the equivalent of that little spinny thing that they've got now, but it's usually worse on Mac. If you see that, that's a really bad thing. Alright, so I didn't change anything to the level, thankfully, so because we're going to lose whatever that was. 100 was a bit bold, I think.
It's exactly why while loops can be potentially.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure if our failsafe wasn't working or if it just is way too little failsafe. Or if it was just too many objects to spawn, which I kind of doubted. 100's not a huge deal. Let's go ahead and check, though. If we do... Let's just do 10. Failsafe plus plus. Failsafe is less than 10. Alright. So we hit play. Let's just make sure it works at all. Yeah, it worked. Alright, let's try 30 asteroids. Let's be a little bit less crazy. Yeah, they definitely collided with each other.
Holy moly.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of asteroids because they're each splitting into smaller asteroids. And oh, they got it resolved. That's probably what happened. It was all the interpenetration. It's just like, oh, well, this one on collision wants to add like 3 more. Well, how does that go? So yeah, but at least it seems like the failsafe is failsafing. So that solves that, basically. 18 minutes in. Alright. What else were we doing? We were going to get the rest of our sound work done. Let's do that real quick. So we've got our bullet sounds, and I think that's the only thing that we've got that's making sound right now. I don't think the player makes a sound when he dies. I don't think the asteroids make a noise when they blow up. Yeah, so that's the only thing we got going. So where were we last time? Sound prefabs. I've got an empty folder called sound prefabs. That's how far we got. Alright, so what our sound prefabs are going to be are just empty objects that have just an audio source, and they're going to be spawned when an event happens. We didn't have to use these for the bullets because the bullets, they come into being and make their noise, and that's all they need to make the noise for. And if for whatever reason they stopped existing before that noise was finished playing, we wouldn't really worry about that case. So these ones just are play on awake, and it works. So the reason we can't just do play on awake for player death or for the asteroids is because we don't want it to play when it awakes for the first place. And second of all, we can't do like a play on destroy because if we had the audio source on the object itself, you call destroy on it, and then you play a sound, you will get one... You'll be lucky to get 1 frame of sound. You probably won't even get that, because it probably won't play the sound until it's already dead. So we need a separate object that basically works as the source for these sounds and will be spawned in their place using our now fancier gib parent on collision thing, which we set up to have amounts as well for each gib type. So, create. What are we doing? We're going to create a empty game object. This is really the only way to do it, which is stupid. Like, you should be able to create a prefab over here and attach scripts to it, but you can't. So we're going to call this asteroid explosion sound. And we're going to throw asteroid. Can I just do that? Oh, I can. You can do something amazing. Did you see that? Did you see that? I just dragged a sound to it, and it created an audio source and applied it to the audio clip. That's awesome. That's just totally awesome. So, for our bullet, what did we end up doing for the minimum distance? We did 15. We're going to do that here, because it seems like it's working pretty well. So we want 15 min distance. And we definitely do want play on awake. And we're going to put this thing to be 0, 0, 0. And we're going to create a prefab in our sounds prefabs folder. So if I hit play here, you should hear an explosion right at the beginning. Yep, you heard it. And, well, at least I heard it. Hopefully my sound stuff is hooked up properly so you're hearing everything. So we can delete this from the scene, and now we can just spawn it with our enemies when they die. So our enemies, or not our enemies, our asteroids. So if we go to large, medium, and small asteroids, they have a... No, they don't have a gib on collide. So we're going to add a gib on collide to them. So, scripts, gib parent on collision. Do we want that? No, we want just gib on collision. How are we handling this again? The asteroids, they have an on collide in their asteroid script, don't they? Alright, we're just going to modify this script to do it after all. So, all we want to do is play the sound here, so we're going to just have a public game object explosion sound object. So we're going to just instantiate explosion sound object just before we do our destroy operation for each of these cases. And then we're going to go onto our asteroids and actually wait for that script to update and drag in our asteroid explosion sound. So now when we hit play, ow, God, that's loud. When multiples of them play at the same time, it's okay. So I think it's actually spawned them all into the center. Yeah, it is. We'll actually want them to spawn on the position so they sound like they're coming from the right place. We also want to destroy them and clean them up after they're done playing. That's cool. I don't even have to add a player death sound technically because the asteroid dies when it hits the player. No, I'm still going to add one, but because we have a cool one. So, by the way, welcome to chat, Dark Rowan. Good to have a live viewer. Thanks for joining us tonight. So, what were we doing? Explosion sounds. Oh, making the sound actually spawn in the right position. So, transform dot position, and we need to give it a rotation. So just quaternion dot identity will work. We're just going to put this in all three locations. And then finally, we need to do the cleanup. So we're going to create a new script. Destroy sound when done playing. There's probably way more words than I need to describe it, but at least it's descriptive. This is going to be a real short one. If audio dot is playing So if not audio is playing, destroy game object. No, the other kind. The lowercase kind. Game object. It's not giving it to me. I swear that it's in there. It has to trust me on this one. Alright, so we just attach this to any of our sound objects we create now, and that'll fix that problem. So if we hit play now, we should still hear our full explosion sounds, and they should clean themselves up, which you can see they're doing on the... Totally working. As I said, short script. Really useful one. You'll use that one a lot. Anytime you're doing sound, you're going to use that script, I guarantee it. So that's a script that will save you, you know, the 10 seconds it takes to write it every day that you use it. So, let's see. So we have the sound for that. We're going to do the same thing for the player. So how does the player work? Playership. Destroy on collision. Yeah, we're going to just switch that to... Okay, we have Gib parent on collision. What did we have? Oh, the enemies. That's right. So we're going to duplicate this one and do one that's not parent-based. Honestly, I could have probably done a bool or something. Maybe we'll combine the two. I don't know. We've got a lot of time tonight, it feels like, at least, so might get that done. But we're just going to do it as a separate thing for right now, just because it's simple enough. So we don't care about the parents anymore. So on collision enter. So the only difference is transform, no, just game object. And everything else I think is entirely valid. Yeah, that's all going to work. So spawn radius, explosion force, explosion radius, amounts. Yeah, we're done. That's the whole thing. That was fast. Alright, so we're going to attach this to our player script. Oh wait, actually we want Gib parent, don't we? Because we don't have... No, we have a collider on the ship. And we should turn the collider on for that too. So I guess we'll do both. We'll do Gib parent on the one that's a child, and we can get rid of destroy and collision because that's inherent to our Gib operation. And then we need to set up a little explosion effect for our characters. So first of all, let's do our sound thing again. We're going to create an empty game object up here as opposed to down here for some reason. I need to write angry letters to the Unity guys and just be like, fix your user interface. I mean, it's great. Like I love Unity. It's fantastic, and every user interface has its little quirks. But I mean, like, they could just get one of their interns, pay him like $1 an hour, and it would still take him like 10 minutes. They wouldn't even have to do the whole hour to fix that problem. So just put create empty in this list as well, like one of those problems alongside of right here, cube, sphere, capsule, cylinder, plane. Put quad underneath that, or wherever you want it. I don't care where you put it, just in there somewhere.
Nope.
But it's not in there, so
every time I want to do that, every time it's not there.
Yeah, there is a long list of things Unity needs to fix. Dark Rowan was just saying something like that, but yeah, it's true. But I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why. I want them to fix the really stupid, easy things because I know they can fix them. Like, I know what goes into that. I've been on the other side of tools to know how little of someone's day it would take to make it so that I don't have to complain every episode about something. So, like, the complex stuff is like, oh yeah, there's a bug when you do X, X, Y, and Z. Is like, yeah, okay, you have to do some investigation on that, but they fix those bugs. They don't fix the little easy-to-fix things.
No one fixes C bugs.
Well, that's the problem. It's not a C bug. It's a design bug.
That's true.
They can say it's, oh, by design. And, yeah, so... So anyway, player death sound, that's what I'm going to call it. we're going to throw player death in there. Oh, good, I called it that, because that's very similar to what that's supposed to sound like. And we're going to do the min distance 15 again, because that's working well enough for us. Might have to make that distance longer for the explosions, just because they're so loud. And we're going to throw this into the sound prefabs. So, kill the one that we made. And now, in our player ship, we have our gibs. So, what do we have for enemy gib? They just give little red things. Let's make a duplicate of this. It's just gray, so we're going to call this player gib. And we have enough time tonight that I might make the player gibs more special, but we'll start with them being pretty normal. So rigid body, that's all good. We're just going to change it from red to just going to call this gray. Even though gray is pretty much the default material, I'm just going to explicitly make 128, 128. Or do you think it's just white? It's probably just white. I don't know. We'll try that. So I'm going to actually change it to not be called red. I'm going to call it, or gray, I'm going to call it white. And then we're going to, I'm going to organize some of this stuff real quick. I guess it's already pretty organized. It's going to create a materials folder. It loves to create folders in subfolders. I don't really know the rules for why it does that, but I think I probably had it clicked or something, and they just create wherever last focus was. Mm-hmm. So prefabs, player gib, we're just going to change this to white. That didn't do anything. Let's try it this way. Player gib. There we go. That worked. So, yeah, that's all that's going to be there. And we're going to kind of duplicate whatever we did on the enemy ship here. So, what is it? We did 2 has the gib, the death sound, 10 of the gib, 1 of the death sound, and 0.5, 500, 1. So, I think that's pretty close to the defaults, actually. 0.5, 500, 1. Yeah, okay. So, we do the player gib. We do 10, well, 2, 10, and 1. And then the second thing we're going to do is the player death sound. So now, when the player dies, we should hear his distinctive death sound when we die. We did not. I don't think we did, at least. Let's see what his sound's supposed to sound like. Oh, yeah. It's opening iTunes, isn't it?
Yes.
No. No, it's not. No! I don't want it to open. I don't want people to know that I listen to Smodcast. Oh, and I've lost. Yeah, full screen just sucks. Yeah, don't get information about my. Don't play that sound. Just stop. Stop. Okay. I hate you, Mac OS. I sometimes hate you. This is one of those times.
Unity has a little player, but it's so easy to double click on those things.
Yeah. Oh, it has a player. Show me.
Yeah, you can just click on it once,
okay.
And then there's a little play button on the audio thing. There should be. Maybe I'm lying. I could be a dirty liar.
There's a play here.
Okay. Yeah, double clicking's like the worst thing to do apparently on those objects.
That's a weird sound. I didn't realize how weird a sound I had made for that. Maybe it's actually playing, I'm just not hearing it. No, it didn't seem like it was doing it. Oh. Probably because I was hitting it head first, and I didn't actually adjust. Oh, I wasn't hitting it head first. It was the opposite problem. Because remember, we have 2 copies of this script, one for gib parent on collision and one for gib on collision. I should probably have organized this differently so we didn't have to do that, but I didn't. So, yeah, let's just duplicate this again real quick. So 2, I guess we can just say 2 on that too. Player death sound. 1, 10. I'm just doing everything out of order. And player gib. Alright, so let's see what it does this time. There we go. Still didn't really hear the sound, but I think it's because the other sound is louder. Let's actually make that asteroid explosion sound less obnoxious. So if we drop this down to volume, we're going to make it 0.5. See how that does. Okay, I heard it. It was incredibly quiet. Let's get the player death sound. Can I make this higher than 1? No, of course I can't. It's like the one case where it's a float that's just between 0 and 1 for no real reason. It doesn't even make sense. Yeah, whatever. It's not a very good death sound anyway. Shoot, player death, enemy death, asteroid death. We've got a level complete sound. So did we actually get an enemy death sound in there? No, we didn't. We just got... Wait, no. Enemy death sound. Where's enemy death sound? Oh. That's where it is. Okay, so we did have a death sound for the enemy. That's good. So everything has sounds except for level complete, I guess. So let's do our level complete sound when we complete a level. So if we go to our level spawner, level manager script, next level. So here's where we should do our sound. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the sound to that object. So we're going to just do level complete here. And we're not going to play on awake on this one. We're going to actually use a play command on this one. So play audio dot play that might be all we need to do. Unity makes it so easy that I expect to have to do more than I'm going to actually have to do. So, although we want to make this 15 at least so that we actually can hear it. Technically, we don't even want this one as a 3D sound, but actually, let's fix that. Let's do that. Let's make it a 2D sound. So, just uncheck that there, I guess. And then if we go to our level spawner, it's a 2D sound. Perfect. And so these settings don't really even matter anymore. But let's see what happens. Wasn't expecting that. Oh. So the destroy on collision thing evidently was ignoring whatever our bullets were. What does our destroy on collision have on it? Just destroy game object. Destroy parent on collision. Destroy transform. Okay, so why is this all of a sudden not working right? Oh wait, I bet I know why it was. So our player ship currently, we had the. Let's see if it was as simple as this. Where's our player ship in these things? I turned on the collision of the cockpit. Like the box collider was off. Let's see if that fixes it real quick. If it does, that's really funny. Fixed it. Totally fixed it. So, is it because the layer is on? No, they're both on default. It just happens to be that the bullets are spawning just far enough that they clip the tip of the ship. These are the kind of problems you can run into. So, what are we doing for our bullet spawn position 1? Okay, let's make it 1.2 and see if that fixes the problem. Fixed it. Nope, not quite. Yes, even more finicky. 1.5? That's what this means, right? Alright, we're good. Now I just need to beat a level without losing.
Go for it. Oh.
I'm terrible.
You just should let the little spaceship come in and finish off.
Oh yeah,
Things
yeah.
at the end if you die.
He'll just beat all the levels for us. Death Blossom! I need to increase the spin speed so we can do a real Death Blossom. We should add Death Blossom to this game. Just make it awesome. Screw hyperspace. Hyperspace is for pussies. Let's make a Death Blossom button. We made the sound. Yay, okay. Alright, so let's add lives and a game over screen, even if it's really basic. Alright, so how are we gonna do this? We're going to... What are we making? We're making lives. So I'm going to create a new script. I'm going to call it Lives Manager. Actually, no. Screw it. We've got a level manager. That'll be fine. We're just going to tie it into that. So public int lives. Yeah, that's good enough, and let's default that to 3. And what else do we want? Let's do a this thing do any fancy rendering anything now? It doesn't. Alright. We're just going to create a non-GUI to do this. So, void on GUI. I'm going to be very lazy about this. So, GUI dot GUI layout. GUI layout. So a GUI layout is a lazier form of the already lazy on GUI system, which if you just like print out 3 labels, they will print out in the upper left hand corner for you, and they will print out underneath each other. So that's what we're doing. We're just going to have lives here. We might as well have score tracking too. We'll do that too. So GUI label content. Alright, so the content is just going to be, okay, it's not content, string text. There we go. So all it's going to be is GUI layout dot label equals lives plus lives dot toString score string. We'll just add a private int score. And then finally we'll do if game over. This is another one I'm just going to create quickly. So private bool game over equals false. If game over, then we print out game over. Game over. So let's let's see here. Alright, so I'm going to do restart game real quick. It's going to be very similar to next level. As a matter of fact, we're just going to invoke... No, we're not going to invoke next level. So, reset game. So we don't need the audio. Let's keep the audio in there. That means we'll know when the game starts. Reset game, level equals 0. Is that what we default it to? No, level equals 1. Level equals 1. And, yeah, that'll do that. And then we're going to call reset game if you hit space and it's game over. So if game over, reset, okay, if game over, and input dot get key down space, key code space, no, space, space, then what do we do then? Reset game. Key code space, missing one more of these. Alright, so that'll mean if we hit space when we die, it'll reset. Let's make it return so we're going to do return so that you don't accidentally restart the game. Game over. Press return to restart. There, we just informed our players how to play our game. So now we just need the game over logic. So currently it will never be game over because we're never saying game over. So when we do, let's see, it needs to know when we die. So let's make it so, let's make a function that we can call elsewhere. So public lose life. Public void lose life, not coid. Public coid lose life. So lives minus minus, and then we need to spawn a new player in somehow, which we already have a player. So let's see what we're going to do. We're going to do that same while loop trick, and we're just going to spawn the player in the center of the world. We do have a player prefab, right? Yeah, so we're going to need a player ship prefab. So public game object player ship. So we're going to instantiate player ship vector 3.0 quaternion.identity. Hopefully that'll work. And we're going to actually do a quick check while physics dot check sphere. Physics.checksphere vector 3.0. So if there's nothing in the center for, what do we get, 1.5? That's not radius though, so 1.5 divided by 2. We'll just do 1.5. We'll make it safe. Just going to hard code that. So while that happens, we don't do anything. That won't work. That won't work at all. So I was thinking of this as like a so we want it to actually wait to spawn the player, as opposed to spawning the player, because that situation will not get better. Like, this while loop will go forever because it's never getting to the next frame. So what we actually have to do is, if this happens, then we delay it. So I'm going to actually make a new function, void spawn player. Actually, we're going to put all this logic in there, I think. And actually, we're gonna do a coroutine. So I forget if we've done any of these on the show. I'm not gonna have a lot of time to really explain them, but basically, this is something that we can call and come back to it later, and it runs alongside everything else. So we're going to start coroutine spawn player. Paste in this stuff. So while physics.checkSphere, we're going to so here's what we're going to do. If it checks and it's not there, we are going to, I'm going to label this wrong, right? Probably. Yield return wait for seconds, and we'll just wait 0.5 seconds. So what this is going to do, once I get that in there, what this is going to do is going to start this coroutine spawn player, and it's going to check to see if there's something there. If there's something there, it's going to yield return wait for seconds 0.5f. This is a very Unity thing here. This is a wait for seconds is a built-in function that they've made for coroutines to make them very easy to work with, just like we've done here. Doing the same logic could have been much more checks and booleans and values and stuff than what we've done here, and that's why it's great to use these things. So what this will do is it returns to normal operation. This yield return anything will return to normal operation. The wait for seconds means that it won't come back to this until a half second has elapsed. So in a half second, it will actually continue executing right here. This is right where it will go. As there is nothing there, it will loop back up and do this part right here, the while. So it will do that check again. And so it will keep waiting, potentially perpetually. And this is actually exactly the way that Asteroids handle it. I'm not sure if you've played Asteroids recently, but like, they spawn you in the center, and if there's a lot of asteroid activity, you will not spawn for a while. So that should solve that little problem. So we start coroutine spawn player. So now the only thing else we need to do is if lives equals 0. So this is if lives is greater than or equal to 0. We'll count the 0. No, we'll do greater than 0. Screw it. Then we do this. If lives is 0, else, then we have a game over condition. So we just say game over equals true. And reset game needs to do something that I forgot to do. We need to say game over equals false. And that should do it. That was a lot without checking it, so we'll see if this logic actually works. And it played. No, obvious already have a problem. Spawn player. Oh, it needs to be a function. Play. One more. Expression denotes a type.
Use a string.
Wait, what? Expression denotes a type or a variable value or method group. Alright, I'm gonna have to look. Wait 4 seconds, Unity. And we're gonna look at our C# example. Yield return new. Oh, yeah. C#, right. Got it. Yield return new. Wait for seconds.
Oh.
Then we hit save and hit play, and it should just work. Alright, we have 3 lives. Oh. That's right. So we still need to tell that script that we've died. So our lose life is a public because we want another function to actually access it. So, and actually I'm going to do a public, I'm just going to cheat and do a public static. We'll see if it'll even let me do that. Probably won't, because the lives is not static. Let's see what it says. Yeah, that's what I thought. Object reference. This is the case where we're doing a singleton, which I have again shirked on my responsibilities for teaching you guys singletons. But whatever. We will do a singleton. We're going to do an introduction to them. I'm going to do that next episode. Actually, I think we're going to do that next episode because it's really important and it's really kind of complicated. It's not. It's actually super simple, but it's complicated the first time you learn it. It's like learning a card game. Like, it's a simple card game, but there's a lot of rules that you have to understand ahead of time. So let's see. What did we need to do? Okay, we'll just... Yeah, we won't even make it public. We'll just do whatever. I'm going to create a very generic script, actually, for this. We're going to call it... what am I doing here? Okay. I'm confusing the heck out of it. I just created an untitled script, didn't I? Or nothing. I created nothing. Create new C# script. We're going to call this send message on collision. This is going to be a generic, nicely set up script that we can use in a lot of cases, but we're going to use it for a very specific scenario. This is going to send our message to the other thing. So, send message on collision. So the message will be public string message, public game object target, and then void on collision enter. Send message, actually, target dot send message, and so we now throw this. Defaults doesn't make any sense on this one. This one makes sense to just have nothing defaulted. So we're going to attach this to our player. And actually, we're going to attach it to both the player and the cockpit. Component scripts. What is it? Send message on collision. And then, in this case, our target is going to be... Oh. Dang it. Yeah, that won't work. Send message with object with tag. Okay, we're going to duplicate this and create another one real quick. We're going to go a little over time on this. Apologies ahead of time. I've heard that some people really don't care if it goes for 2 hours, which... Yes, coroutines are amazing. I didn't realize you had typed that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love coroutines.
Yeah. Phil, I introduced coroutines to Phil literally last week, and he says that, yeah, he went through his whole code base and wrangled it with coroutines.
Yeah, it's helped performance quite a bit.
Relation to objects with tag. That is a mouthful. I'm going to copy and paste that one into it. Because I'm going to get it wrong if I don't. Send message on collision to objects with tag. For each game object in game object dot find game objects with tag. String tag. We're going to change it to that. Tag. The reason we're doing it this way is because this object is already instantiated. We don't even have a prefab for it, so we can't apply that to our prefab version of the ship. So it's going to look for the object by the tag. So, and so we just do obj send message, and we still need the message, I guess. So public string message. We just don't need the target anymore. Alright, so we save this. We go back to our player. We get rid of the send message on collision. Level spawner is going to have to get a tag of its own. We're going to call it level manager. I'm going to finally call this level manager and not spawner. We're going to label it as level manager. And then in our player ship, we're going to component script send message to collision on collision to objects with tag. Tag is level manager. Message is lose life. That was what it was called, right? Lose life. Alright, cool. So now, when we hit play, if everything compiles, loss of life, valuable player ship of level manager. Okay, so I forgot to actually do that. So we need to put player ship in here. That's not where I wanted it. Oh, God. Stop!
Wow.
Okay. So what happened there was nothing marked as asteroid. The level manager's like, yeah, so all the asteroids are dead, so I guess I should spawn some more in. And then it just keeps adding more players. So, yeah, that was not what we wanted at all. So let's try large asteroid. And then on the player ship, we actually put player ship, not like somewhere else. Alright, so if we crash, bam, we're back. Oh, that's no good. Okay, Quaternion identity was not a good idea on this case. Let's just fly. Oh, I can't fly into the center because we lock our position. This is horrible. I can shoot off into the wrong directions. Okay, so Quaternion identity was not a good choice on that one. So let's do, in spawn player, we're going to do player ship dot rotation. Let's see if this works. Dot transform dot rotation. Alright. So let's try this again. I kill myself, and I come back, and it's working, yay! And then I kill myself again, and I come back again, and it's working, yay!
Nice.
And I'm at live 0, and then I hit. Let's see what happens when I crash into these guys. Game over! It didn't spawn a new one of me, perfect. I hit return, and it starts again, although I'm at 0 lives. Yeah, so I gotta fix that real quick. I thought I made the lives equals... Oh, I made the level. Lives equals 3. We'll just do whatever the default is. Technically speaking, we should be storing whatever you've set so that you can get back to that value, but we're just getting this wrapped up now. Because I'm done. I'm done with asteroids. And it's actually a pretty complete game. I didn't actually get the score working or hooked up, but you guys can do that at home. You've seen me do it on other episodes, so I'm sure you can handle this. I also didn't make the explosion as fancy as I really wanted to. But that's okay. Game over, press return. Okay, still perfect, because it doesn't spawn the player? Is that what happened? Yeah, we don't spawn the player. That might help. So actually, we should also destroy all asteroids. For each game object, asteroid... Yeah. old asteroid in game object dot find game objects with tag asteroid. Destroy old asteroid. I just called it old asteroid because I'm sure there was something called asteroid already and I didn't want it to confuse with anything else. So we do that and we actually spawn our player. Spawn. Actually, yeah, start coroutine spawn player. And this should be the actual final version of this that'll work. It's totally gonna work. I want it to work. I want it too much for it to not work. Zero. Oh, game over. Press return to restart. Looking good.
Yeah.
I bet you my bullets will persist, but that's a very, 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 very minor thing. And now I'm just going to kill myself and see if enemies will spawn and kill all the asteroids for me.
Complete the game for you.
Yeah. Anyway, so thank you for joining me tonight. I'd say that that's a complete game mechanics-wise. Obviously, you'd want to do an art pass on it. Well, maybe not, you know. You could release that, but people won't want to play it. Graphics do matter, unfortunately, sometimes. So, anyway, thank you for joining me tonight. Oh, yeah, I got to do my standard spiel. So, email. Email button. Where's this button? Buttons. Email screen. There we go. I need to organize this better. Come on. All right, so pushypixels at pushypixels.com. I want to hear from you. Give me feedback. Fun stuff. Anyway, and then the other thing is Proton Pulse. Where's that? Proton Pulse. Green. There we go. Proton Pulse. Buy it. Actually, you don't even have to buy it now if you're on iOS, and actually soon on Android, but I haven't finished that version yet. We now have a free version on iOS. It's iAd supported. But so you'll see an advertisement at the top of the screen. But it is free. Download it. It's free. Totally free. No strings attached other than that stupid little advertisement banner. But you can ignore that. Or just disconnect from the internet. You won't even see it. I don't care. But yeah, it's available, free. If you happen to be connected on the internet, I appreciate that because that does give me money. That's the reason it's free. But yeah, give it a shot. At the very least, if you were interested in it, but you wanted a demo or something, there's your demo. You can play it for however you want, and yeah. So why did this stop playing? Oh, because I'm not looking at it anymore. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, Proton Pulse, free version on iOS. Soon to have a free version. Again, ad support, probably mob clicks, whatever they use on the Android. And I'm talking over all these explosions. Anyway. Thanks for joining in, and good night.
Good night, everyone.